Hi guys, today I'm bringing you my Bright Eyes with Kiko Milano products. It has been horrible weather lately, so I wanted to bring you something bright and cheerful. Let's get started. As always, we're going to start with the base. I'm using my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the color Milk, and I'm applying it all over the eye. So once it's there, I go ahead and use my fingertips to blend out the product. Make sure that you don't have too much product in any specific area. Just blend it out till it's nice and smooth and opaque, so you have a really nice base for the shadows that are going to follow. The first shadow I'm using is 260 from the Infinity collection, and it's a lime green color. It's really bright and has just a bit of sparkle to it. I'm using a fluffy blending brush from Morphe to apply this to the crease area. It's really going to go into the crease and above, just to underneath the brow bone area. I wanted to make sure that I put down a transition color to put other colors on top of, but I also wanted something fun and bright, so this is definitely not your typical beige color. It's completely fine to keep going back into the pan of eyeshadow just to add a bit more. Keep doing it and layer the product until you get the color saturation that you're looking for. As a foundation for my cut crease, I'm using an Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On pencil in the color Radium. I'm using this pencil from the outer corner to the inside, and I am keeping my eye open so I make sure that the placement is correct for the cut crease. This is going to act as a guide for the shadow to follow. On a pointed pencil brush, I'm taking the color 408, which is a shimmery, beautiful aqua color, and I'm laying it right over that Urban Decay pencil. Like I said before, the pencil was just a guide for the eyeshadow that's going to go on top. I'm using the eye pencil to really just lay down the initial shadow that I'm going to blend upwards from. Next, I'm going to take that same 408 eyeshadow and a smudgy brush, and I'm going to blend that color upwards. You're really going to make kind of a rounded shape, keeping it a bit thinner towards the inner corner, and you're going to keep blending this color, kind of using small circles up into that lime green shadow. Take your time and make sure that you really do blend the two together so you get a nice gradient effect. I'm adding a bit of a base just to the outer corner. It's a deep purple color from Urban Decay called Ransom, and I'm using this really to add some depth to that outer corner area. To smoke out the outer corner, I'm using the color 407 from the same Infinity collection. It's a beautiful deep purple sparkly color, and I'm using a fluffy pointed blending brush to apply this right over top of Ransom. Because of my hooded eye, I do need a bit of depth in the outer corners, and I'm using teeny tiny circular motions to apply this color. As always, we need to blend, so I'm going back in with that 260 color, and I'm using the same blending brush, and I am blending everything together. I also wanted to add a bit of the lime green brightness to the look, so I wanted to make sure to apply a bit more of that color over top and blend everything together. Now for the lid area, I'm using the color 255, which is a beautiful bright gold color, and I'm applying this directly to the lids with a flat shader brush. This color is really just to add some brightness and make sure that my lid space doesn't get lost in this look. And of course, I'm going to add some brightness to the lower lash line. I'm using this Urban Decay pencil in the color Woodstock as a base. Using this pencil just will allow the shadow that I'm going to apply on top to stick and be bright. The shadow I'm using is 405 from Kiko. It's a beautiful pinky purple shadow. It's got a lot of shimmer, and it's just going to add a bit of a pop and a little bit of brightness to that lower lash line area. Using a smudge brush to apply this, it really pulls the look together. To redefine that cut crease area, I'm taking the shadow 408 and an angled shadow brush, and I'm literally relining the cut crease area. I do this because in the blending process you end up losing a lot of the definition, so apply a bit of it with the angled brush and then use that same brush's flat edge to blend upwards. And of course, we're going to add some liquid liner to the lash line. I'm using my Kat Von D liquid liner in the color Trooper. Just follow the natural shape of your eye. You don't need to add a flick or anything, just go ahead and add some depth and darkness and keep it really close to the lash line. I'm using my Marc Jacobs gel liner to line both my upper and lower waterlines. When you do apply it to the lower waterline, just push your finger in. You don't need to pull your lid down, and apply a bit just to make sure that there's definition to that lower lash line area. I'm using my CoverGirl Plumpify waterproof mascara, and I'm applying this to both my lower lash line as well as the upper lash line. I really don't need to add a whole bunch of mascara since I am going to be following this up with some false lashes from Ardell. I add a bit of Revlon lash glue to the band, and then I use my tweezers to apply the Ardell 105s as close to my natural lashes as possible. I always start with the middle of the band first, and then I wiggle and pull the outer edge of the band to where I want it to go and push it in with the tweezers. And when I'm happy with that application, I go ahead and use the tweezers to apply the inner band as well. Sometimes it's just easier if you use your fingers to do this. So for placement, I use the tweezers, but then when I want to actually push it into place, I do use my fingertips, and then I brush them upwards so I make sure that I have the angle that I want and I have them flaring up and curling the way I like them. For the lips, I'm using a Lip Couture from LA Splash, and it's the liquid lipstick in the color Forbidden. I figure if the eyes are going to be nice and vibrant and bright, so should the lips. So I do love these liquid lipsticks. If you have drier lips, can be a problem with this particular brand, but for the most part, if you moisturize your lips ahead of time, the color goes on really well. They stay all day, and you have to be really careful with the application because once these suckers go on your skin, it stays on your skin until you take some makeup remover to them. So I just go ahead and line my lips and I'm done. I hope you guys enjoyed this bright eye look using Kiko Milano eyeshadows. I really wanted to make sure that they were bright and fun because the weather has just been so crappy and cold lately, so I hope you guys do give this a try. As always, if you guys have suggestions for other looks that you want, please leave them down below. As always, be kind to yourself and each other, and don't ever be afraid to be your perfectly imperfect you. I'll see you guys later. Bye for now. Thank you for watching. Click on the video above to get another glimpse into my world. Don't forget to visit my website, MakeupMaiWorld.com, for more details on me and the products used today. Also be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. My details are below. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.